So, Mom, even though I didn't manage to blossom into a beautiful princess, I do have a really fun life here in Tokyo.
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our channel, Paws On Animation, another manga review.
Yes, and today we are covering the Princess Jellyfish manga.
Yes, now this manga is something that we really ended up loving. This was originally covered on my SOFHAB channel together. And for the next few months, we're going to give you a couple of mangas we really want you to know about and read. If you don't follow SOFHAB, then you haven't heard the review. So this way we want you to learn about some awesome manga.
Right.
This is one of them. And it centers on an amimazuken apartment building in Tokyo where the tenants are all otaku women. No men are allowed. And until the main MC, Tsukumi, meets up with whom she thinks is a stylish, beautiful woman, but ends up being a guy she ends up falling for, Kuranosuke Koibuchi. But
before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the bell on future podcasts and World of Pause videos.
And thank you so much for joining us, subscribing, sharing our videos, and so much more. We appreciate you so much. We learned a word, amamizukan, which is what they call the building where these women live. And it's absolutely a fantastic book. So quickly, it was written and illustrated by Akiko Hagemishura, and it was serialized in Kodansha's Josai magazine, so that's the categories. Kiss from October 2008 to August 2017, and Kodansha has it here in the U.S. The anime is 11 episodes, which we're currently watching, and it's just as fantastic as the manga.
Right. Can't believe it's so short.
Right. And a live-action film adaptation came out in December of 2014.
Oh, God.
As well as a 10-episode live-action drama series
Oh,
in
God.
2018. So, tell them why we should be giving praise and loving Princess Jellyfish.
Okay, so the entire setup for this manga is actually very unique. It's sort of like Nozaki, where it plays on a lot of the tropes you usually see in shoujo and other shonen mangas, and it doesn't just have like the girl and the boy in school and there's a secret and all that. They actually almost reminds you a bit of Maid Sama. She's not, well, she is in school, but she's also living at this place, so it raises a whole different environment. You're not just dealing with students, classmates, the teachers, and the family and all that. It's a whole different environment, so a whole different characters and relationships in here.
And all of the women here are adults, ranging in age, I think, from 18 to 36.
Yeah, and they all have like you said, a fixation that is ridiculous fixation, and they all are still friends, and they respect each other's weird fixations that they have. They just respect it, and they work together. So they work for a mangaka who writes BL, and they sort of are her team where they ink the lines,
yes, like
right,
yeah.
and they help her publish it. So that's pretty much their job and their home.
Yes. So we're going to tell you a little more about the characters, because the characters really are what makes this manga as well as the anime. So as we mentioned, the main character is Tsukumi Kurashida, and in the dub, she's voiced by Maxie Whitehead. If you know anything about BA, you know she was one of the voices for Owl in one version of Pokemon.
Yes, and that's why she sounds perfectly crazy when she's doing the voice.
Yes. Now she's between 18 and 19 years old during the manga, and she's a nerd who lives in Tokyo and wants to be an illustrator. And she's influenced by her late mother. Again, she loves all things jellyfish. And she's the only resident of the Amazukan who knows Kuranosuke's true gender, which we'll mention him shortly. And all the women that live there are like sisters.
Yeah.
And you see them in the manga really supporting her, and you see they really do love her. So I like it. Yeah. What do you like most about her character?
And this was written in 2009, right? The original manga. I think she still has the innocence and relatability that you really don't see in animation as much anymore. Because usually when they have people that are representative of nerds, they're usually in a negative light. Unless it's another nerd writing it, they're in a negative light. They waste their money and time. They're always shown as, well, they could have had a life, but they wasted on comics. And for her, it's not comics, it's Jellyfish. And she's not shunned for by everybody. Some find it weird. Some find it, okay, you're creepy. But for the one she's with, it's perfectly fine. It's not even really seen as creepy. It depends on your perception of it. So it's just funny to us.
Yes,
it's just
definitely.
really funny to us and how she's knowledgeable of all these jellyfish. And it's like, hey, I'm looked at with raccoons, so I can understand this. So I think it's probably what makes her really likable. She's not arrogant in any way. She's just, I think, a little too self-conscious and self-aware, because she even knows she's in an anime and she's worried about how the viewers are gonna see her too. Like, don't judge me, please.
Yes. Now, who we could call a supporting main character is Karanosuke Kobuchi, and in the anime he's voiced by Jesse James Brown. And he is from a rich political family, and he uses the alias Karako in front of the other sisters in the house to hide his gender. So she's the only one who knows that he's a male.
Yeah.
He's a straight male who likes to cross-dress.
Right.
So when she first meets him, she thinks he's a beautiful princess because he helps her save this jellyfish that the pest owner is going to kill because he's in with another jellyfish that's going to eat him, and the body secretions are fatal to the other jellyfish. So he's really gorgeous and has his little short shorts and long hair and everything. So he ends up going with her to the house and sleeps because it's too late for him to go home. He asks, can he sleep over? She says, yes, the least she could do. You save the jellyfish, whom she ends up bringing home. So when she wakes up in the morning, his wig is off and he's taking off his sweater and stuff. And then she's like, you're a boy?
Yeah, she thought he was a drag queen at first. It's like, no.
She thought he was a woman.
Oh yeah,
at first.
yeah. Oh, that's right.
She's a
Right
princess, and she
that's why the title.
like her.
The title,
And
yeah.
then she thought he was a drag queen. He told her, no, honey, I am straight. I do this as a hobby. I enjoy it. And then what I really like about this manga is how it gets into details about the different communities that exist in Japan and what they're called and what they represent. And so much care has been taken to speak on every single person and type that's there. I've never seen anyone take that much care in making sure everyone's represented and having a paragraph that explains who they are and what they do and how they see themselves. It was really enlightening, and for 2009, really straightforward, really eye-opening. And even now, in 2023, we don't see books doing this, whether they're Western or manga. They touch on it a little, but not in the way this went into detail.
Yes.
Very eye-opening.
Yes, and I agree because, as I said, with their character, you only see a relatable character like that anymore because usually most people want to represent themselves or a group that they feel need to be more represented, even though you see it everywhere, and they just kind of add to a pile that you already have enough of. But for here, they don't. Here they blatantly say, like, you can't just lump these groups together and label them all that, because that's exactly what they do in Western movies and shows. Oh, this person cautious, they have to be this, that, and the other. It can't be anything else. But here they explain different types of people do different types of things for different reasons, and it should really broaden your perspective instead of enclosing you to only one thing can be the possibility for an outcome. So, like you said, 2009, it was actually progressive.
Absolutely. So I'll tell you quickly about the other sisters. You have Chieko, who was voiced by Cynthia Kranz in the anime, and she is actually the manager of the Amazuken, make sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. Her mom owns the building, and she's obsessed with dressing in traditional Japanese clothes. So much so, she wears kimonos all the time, and her hair is pulled back, that when they do a makeover, he tells her, you don't need one, you already look like you're wealthy. And she says, I don't know if you take that as a compliment or an insult. Then you have Mayaya, who's my favorite, And she was voiced by Monica Rial, who also voices
Kashima!
Saki-kun Anime. And she is obsessed with Workers of the Three Kingdoms, which is an anime that takes place during feudal Japan. She makes constant references to the events of that time. She's overexcited. She shouts when she speaks, and she always has these weird poses that are just hilarious. She never walks and stands up normally.
Right.
Ever. And it's just hilarious listening to her and watching her. And she really loves living with the rest of the sisters there.
Yeah.
Then you have Bamba, who was voiced by Mariela Ortiz in the English dub. And she is obsessed with all kinds of trains. She has a large afro, which is natural. And she keeps saying it's not an afro.
I guess
It's not an afro. She claims she's 8 years old because she was born in a leap year. But she's actually between the ages of 32 and 35 years old.
Oh my gosh, she's like Shiro.
She's the shortest, and she looks the youngest. She looks baby. Then you have Gigi, who's voiced by Leah Clark in the dub, and she is obsessed with mature old men. And when they say old, they mean old.
Like
They
close
mean
to
like
elderly.
grandpa, great-grandpa age. And when she sees these men, she actually...
She's infatuated.
and she falls in love.
That's like, oh
Even
my
the
God.
ones sitting on the bench in the park feeding the birds. And you're just like, oh my
Okay.
God. But there are lots of other characters in here, but these are the main characters. And they've made this little sisterhood that is absolutely adorable and wonderful and fun and engaging. And the manga was so fantastic that I immediately wanted to see if there was an anime, and I was ecstatic that there is. And I'm ecstatic that they took great care in making it have the same feel as the manga. They
Right.
didn't change a thing in terms of how it's presented.
Right.
And if you love reading fun books and who are just memorable, unforgettable, and unique, then this is the manga you need to read. All the covers are pink, white, and black for the color scheme. Inside the manga, of course, is black and white. The anime is full of color, and it's fun, and you get to see how the clothes and things really look in color that you can't see in the manga. The mangas are really large. It's a volume. which
It's 12 chapters long, or they call it episodes.
and it runs.
Oh no, from a copy we got, there was a page missing. I think it's about, 200 pages? Maybe 300?
It's gotta be, but there's no page numbers here. I did not
Yeah, they
realize
don't
there were
have
numbers
it,
here.
no.
But it's very, very thick. So if you buy or choose to buy this, you get a lot of manga for your money. We got this from the local library. I'm so grateful it's there. I just happened to see it on the shelf and decided to give it a try, and I'm so glad I did. Princess Jellyfish is a must-read for anyone who loves fun manga that doesn't take itself too seriously. It has some elements of seriousness in it, like with her dealing with the death of her mom, which happened a little while ago, but she still seems to be affected. With Kenosuke,
Kenosuke, yeah.
who is, again, dealing with his family, some who are fine with him cross-dressing and some who aren't. And each character has their own issue they're dealing with that is serious, but the way it's presented in here, it's not overbearing. It doesn't take over the feel of the manga. It's still lighthearted.
Yeah.
And I think that's a brilliant move that I haven't seen personally in any other manga, where you have some of these serious concerns and events, but it still keeps the lighthearted tone,
Yeah.
regardless of what's happening in there, and that makes it a fantastic read.
Right. And I think for me, one of the favorite parts from the manga so far, from its first volume, is when, is his name Chinosuke, right?
Kurenosuke.
Kurenosuke. His brother sees her without the nerd glasses and everything, and he really wants to go out with her. It's hilarious. And first he's excited, and he sets up everything, and they go to the aquarium. And at first it's fine. It's kind of weird because she's awkward about everything, but she's still excited to see jellyfish and everything. And I think to me it's hilarious. He ends up going to the restroom, walks into the ladies' one because of how he's dressed. and after like a few moments, he actually ends up taking off the female clothes and comes back out in the male clothes. And seeing them together, he keeps saying, "Why am I getting pissed off about this?"
Yes,
it's like,
uh-oh, here comes the triangle. But it's a hilarious triangle.
right? It's like on.
So another thing, last thing I should say we want to mention is that they reference a lot of American movies in here. And
yes, a
one
lot.
of the biggest ones that Rascal thought was hilarious is they referenced the
movie Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter,
because one of my favorites.
because one of them's on a train with an axe but it's in daylight instead of night.
It's Bomba.
Remember, I was like, oh my gosh, no, they didn't.
But it's a really great read. It's so much fun. You've seen clips that you've been watching this, and it's just as fun as it looks. Now, if you happen to have already read Princess Jellyfish, let us know what you think in the comments below. Did you love it like we did first reading, first few pages, I was hooked? Or was it not for you? Were you educated on the many different parts of culture and lifestyles that are in Japan like we are? Let us know what you think. And if you haven't, get Princess Jellyfish. Sylveon in particular, you would absolutely love this.
Yes.
Absolutely love it. Princess Jellyfish. Get it, read it, love it, and let us know what you think in the comments below. And again, there is an anime available on Crunchyroll exclusively. It is 12 episodes, and if you want to watch that first before you read it, you'll definitely want to read it when you're done.
Right.
So, if you've read Princess Jellyfish, please let us know in the comments below. Did you read it when it originally came out in from 2008 to 2017? Or did you read it as a manga that was released in the same time period? Or did you read it later like we did? And if you haven't read it, again, you've got to read this manga. It's exciting, it's fun, it's slapstick, it's so much like Nozaki-kun and Maid-sama and
so many more on Oron, I guess.
Yes, definitely. You're going to absolutely love it. And
if you haven't already, subscribe for updates and reviews for your anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
yes, and thank you so much for joining us for this manga review. As always,
you're special. Thank you so much for watching Rascal Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a toontastic day.
Peace.
And reporters sitting flashing lights, trying to walk around, man, who the hell are you? What you wanna do? My man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. Hit her in my dreams, she was my queen. A castle in the mountaintops, rivers and streams. Plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket, give it to